Calling case 2016-2142, Terri Kern versus Jeremy Baumhower. We have a temporary CPO pending in this case. We're having a hearing to decide whether to terminate that CPO and potentially extend it for up to 5 years. We have Jack Brady representing the petitioner, Stephen Groth representing the respondent. Gentlemen, do we have any preliminary issues we need to deal with before we start?
I did, Your Honor. I would just indicate that I would ask the court to consider our motion for discovery in this matter at the close of the moving party's case, and if the court felt that there was additional evidence needed to make a ruling in this case, that we be granted our opportunity for discovery. If that's unnecessary, then we're ready to proceed.
Okay, well, certainly I'm willing to consider any motions at any time. So, each of you expect your clients to testify, so I'm going to go ahead and swear both of them in.
Very well.
Can I get you to raise your right hand so I can swear you in? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Brady, I'll give you the floor if you want to call your first witness.
Thank you. Call Terri Kern. Stephanie.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. Oh, I thought you were talking. Sorry.
We're both ready.
Okay.
All right, would you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Terri Lynn Kern. My address is 3608 Orchard Trail Drive, Toledo, Ohio 43606.
What is your occupation?
I am a licensed professional counselor
How long have you been so?
since September of 2015.
And who provides you with such a license?
The state of Ohio.
And what's the name of that board?
It's the Ohio Board of Social Worker, Counselor, and Marriage and Family Therapy.
Does anyone else live with you?
Yes.
Who?
My 82-year-old mother, Donna, and my sister, Susan.
And would you give the court a brief description of your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree in business from the University of Toledo. I have a master's degree in counseling from the University of Toledo, and I am a doctoral student in psychology with the Chicago School of Professional Psychology.
Have you ever met Jeremy Baumhower?
I have not.
Tell the court how you came into contact with him.
In September, I live across the street from the Washington Local Administration Building. There were an extraordinary number of cars around my neighborhood for several days. I inquired as to what was going on. I had just gotten out of the hospital after an appendicitis. And I asked on Facebook what was happening, and I was told that the superintendent had been suspended because of a advertising deal. And as I inquired about it, I learned that that was not the case, that he had been suspended because of unwanted contact with a teacher. And as I inquired more about what was happening and expressed my concern over his behavior, Mr. Baumhower, we started to engage on Facebook, on social media. And as I expressed my opinion that I was concerned about Patrick Hickey, the superintendent's behavior, Mr. Baumhower expressed that I did not have my facts straight, and that's how it started.
Okay. I present to you has been marked for identification purposes as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1. Can you identify that for the court, please?
That is a car that was driving around my house on November 25th, taking photographs of myself and my sister and my home.
Did you recognize the car?
I did not.
Did you take a picture of the car yourself?
I did.
And is that the picture you took?
Yes.
Does that accurately represent what you saw at the time you took the picture?
Yes.
Turn to page 2 of that exhibit, please. Can you identify that?
Yes.
What is it?
It is a social media post from Jeremy Baumhower threatening to sue myself, my sister, and another person on social media named Robin Bush.
Read specifically what it says under the first line, Jeremy Baumhower.
It says, now comes the lawsuits, Hickey versus Kern, Kern and Bush, Baumhower versus Kern, Kern and Bush, Kern versus future employer if applicable.
Okay. How did that make you feel?
I was very concerned.
Okay. Next page, please. Is that another post from Mr. Baumhower?
It's a private message that he sent to my friend Stephanie Angel.
Okay, what does it say?
It says, it's getting closer, Terry, tick, 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 tick.
And how did that make you feel?
Extraordinarily concerned.
Do we have dates on any of these things?
The date on the first post was December 11th. The date that the private message was sent was February 15th of 2016.
And the date of the photos were taken was November?
November 25th.
Thank you.
Present you, it's been marked for identification purposes as exhibit number 2. Can you identify that, please?
Yes, it's a private message that Mr. Baumhower sent me through WordPress.
And what is he expressing to you?
That I had many private messages that were anonymously sent to me that were extraordinarily derogatory towards myself, my mother, my daughter, and I had inquired publicly who would be the person. I was wondering if it was Jeremy who was sending them to me. He sent me a message that said, thank you for the accuracy. I posted the question on Thursday, not Friday. Once again, I have not commented nor messaged you a single time with an alias. I'm going to ask you again, please stop insinuating that I have. Every single comment is marked by an IP address, something admissible in a civil court. Portray me again as a person messaging or commenting again anonymously, and I'll file.
What does he mean by I'll file?
I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming some type of lawsuit.
At some time, did you tell him to quit contacting you?
I did.
And when was that?
I told him on November the 27th at 8:06 p.m. in a private message.
All right, the present you has been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 3 for identification purposes.
Back up again a second, sorry, the last private message about I'll file, what was the date on that?
That was on, sorry, October 18th at 3:17 p.m.
2015?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Present you has been marked as plaintiff's exhibit 3 for identification purposes. Can you identify what that is for the court?
Yes, it is a Facebook page that is anonymous. I had a pod in my driveway, and it is a Facebook page made about the pod.
Do you believe that came from Mr. Baumhower?
I do.
And does it publish your address?
Yes, it does.
And do you again tell him, do not contact me for any reason or now in the future?
I did.
All right, do you know what the date of that document is?
You're talking about the date of the Facebook page or the date that she contacted him?
I have it here. Hang on a second. I apologize. It was on November the 27th at 8:06 p.m.
And what are we referring to again on that date?
A private message where I asked him, I said, do not contact me for any reason now or in the future.
Okay, and what about the Facebook post?
That was, I don't have a date on that, I'm sorry.
That was on somebody's
It was around November 20th.
was posted on an anonymous person's Facebook page,
Correct,
not sent to you,
correct.
okay?
It has my name on it, though. The page title has my name on it.
And when do you think that was?
November 20th.
Okay. And it's not marked, but why do you think it's that date?
Because I had a dinner at my home that night. It was a Friday night, and someone called me to tell me that this page had been created with my name on it.
Okay.
In that post, does he direct people to drive by and make complaints about the pod?
Yes.
We're talking about a flower pot?
No, a pod.
Oh, pod.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I present you as marked for identification purposes as plaintiff's exhibit number 4. Can you tell the court what that is?
This is a post that he made on his Facebook page about my sister and myself.
Does he publish your phone number?
He publishes all but 2 digits of my phone number.
And then does he ask someone, who do you think is the best slander or defamation attorney in Northwest Ohio?
Yes.
And how did you take that?
I took it as he was going to hire someone to sue me.
Do we have a date on that?
December the 12th.
Thank you.
I present you what's been marked for identification purposes as plaintiff's exhibit number 5. Can you tell the court what that is?
That is a post that he made on October 15th, 2015 that says, I need help. Does anyone know how I can check the state license of someone that is a therapist or counselor? Please message me.
And at some point, did you receive any communication from the state licensing board that required a hearing?
Yes.
When did you receive that?
I received that on October 27th at 10:33 a.m.
Why did they set a hearing?
because they said that they had received complaints that I had violated ethics.
And did you have a hearing?
Yes.
And how did that turn out?
It turned out that the board found that I had not violated any ethics.
Present you has been marked for identification purposes as plaintiff.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
The Facebook post about, was it a Facebook post about how can I check
Yes.
a license? And that was on Jeremy's Facebook page?
Correct.
And what was the date?
October 15th, 2015.
Thank you.
Again, present you what's been marked for identification purposes as plaintiff's exhibit number 6. Can you tell the court what that is?
It is another post from him that says pages may come and go, but screenshots are forever. What will happen first, the resignations or the slander and defamation lawsuits? I know what will come last, your next job, counselor. I can't wait for tomorrow.
And that was directed to you?
Yes, that was on December the 2nd, 2015.
Now, you indicated you did have a hearing before the board?
Correct.
And when was that?
That was on November 10th.
And I present you what's been marked for identification purposes as plaintiff's exhibit 7. Can you identify that?
Yes, it's the letter from William Haggerty, who I met with. He's the deputy director of the counseling board.
And did they tell you that no discipline was necessary?
Yes.
All of these events from September, October, November, and December of 15, how did that affect your personal life?
I have been upset, worried about my livelihood, worried about my professional reputation in the community, which I've lived for most of my life. Anxious, very, very worried.
Has it caused you mental distress?
Absolutely.
At any time have you sought out medical or psychological treatment?
Yes.
Tell the court what you did.
I spoke with my supervisor, Dr. John Luton. He's a psychologist at Workplace Resources, and talked to him on several occasions about it.
Did you see a psychiatrist?
I did.
And who was
Diane Heisel at Valco and Associates.
Okay, and who is John Luton, PhD?
He is my clinical supervisor. I am to go to him for any type of issue I'm having.
And did you see him?
I did.
And did he write a letter?
He did.
Present you what's been marked as plaintiff's exhibit number 8. Can you identify that, please?
Yes, that is the letter that Dr. Luton wrote for me.
What does it say?
It says, "To whom it may concern, Terri Kern has talked with me about the situation under the court's consideration. It is my opinion that Ms. Kern has suffered considerable anxiety and sometimes actual fear relative to the person in question. Her ability to perform some tasks, her memory, and her concentration have all been at various times impaired."
Has this, have these events had any impact upon your mother and your sister?
Absolutely.
Would you describe for the court how it's affected your mother?
My mother has lived in that house for over 60 years. She's 82 years old. She is almost completely blind and has dementia. She has become paranoid. She thinks that every phone call that comes in is someone that's watching the house. She's become afraid in her own home.
And your sister?
My sister has been affected in that Mr. Baumhower wrote an article about her and published a mental health status from 1996 that was part of the lawsuit she was involved in, which is public record. However, he went on to make fun of her repeatedly based on the information that was in the mental health status. And as a result of that, she has become very paranoid, very upset. She talks about it frequently, how her mental health status was published for the world to read, and then he goes on to make fun of it. He claims that he has tens of thousands of readers and they read this.
At this time, I move for the admission of exhibits 1 through 8.
Your Honor, I would note my objection to the last admission, which is number 8. I didn't receive a copy of it. It's to the extent that it's hearsay, it's not been validated. I've never seen it, and I don't know that it's actually it appears to just simply be an email from someone who claims to be a doctor, but this email is, I don't believe, sufficient proof to establish a medical record or the medical record exception. So I would object to number 8 and its admission in court today.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about number 8? Okay. I will admit exhibits 9 through 7 and sustain the objection to exhibit 8. Any further witnesses or anything you'd like to present,
No,
Mr. Brady? Okay. Ms. Kern, Mr. Groth, I assume we can ask you some questions now about your testimony?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
You can stay seated.
I'm more comfortable standing,
That's fine.
and I don't mean that I can even stand over here.
You're okay if you're
I'll be polite, just
I'm sure you will.
standing in court.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Kern.
Good morning.
Ms. Kern, you admitted first and foremost on the record you never met my client, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you had caused to be filed an ex parte motion in this court, correct? And you signed it. You remember that you filed a document and you filled it out in your own handwriting. Do you recall that?
Correct.
Okay. First and foremost, you indicated that Mr. Baumhower posted childish posts on social media. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And would you agree with me that childish posts on social media are not threatening or menacing or problematic? They're just childish?
I would say that they have potential to be problematic in addition to being childish.
Okay. But the potential, but not actual. Correct?
Well, in my case, they were problematic.
Okay. You then indicated that on 10/3, you spoke out against Superintendent Patrick Hickey on Baumhower's Facebook page, correct? So a month later, you posted on his page. Is that accurate in your own words?
That is accurate after he and I...
I'm sorry, I just asked you, was it accurate? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you posted on his Facebook page against Superintendent Hickey. And yes or no, you know that Mr. Baumhower is a supporter of Mr. Hickey, correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you posted on his page against Mr. Hickey on his own personal page, correct?
Correct.
Okay. At that point, had he ever posted anything on your personal page?
He had, yes.
He had, in September of 2015, he had posted on your personal page?
Correct.
And you have documentation of that somewhere?
Somewhere, yeah. I don't
Okay,
have it with me.
but not here with you today?
Correct.
Okay. And then on 10/10, you then blocked him because he would constantly argue with you, is that right? I blocked him from
Yes, correct.
contacting me, and this angered him, you say?
Correct.
And do you have any proof of this anger?
I do.
Okay, and do you have that with you today?
I do.
Mr. Baumhower said, "I'm angry that I can't contact you."
Well, he said...
Are we talking about you blocked him from your blog or your
Social
Facebook
media,
or
yes.
what?
10/15/15, I blocked him from...
Right, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah, so,
clarify
yeah.
what she
Trying to
used in
explain
the
it.
statement. If she gets a chance.
He wrote an article about me on his blog on October 21st
Okay.
that indicated he was angry. He made a post, I don't know that I have it with me, he wrote a long post about the fact that I had blocked him.
Okay. So, he's a blogger,
Oh,
that's...
Yeah, it's right here. If you can't beat them, out-debate them, or even fool them, then you block them. The philosophy of Terri Kern. She magically disappeared from Facebook. She took her lies and went home.
Okay. Now, Facebook's a public forum, right? People can write whatever they want?
Correct.
Okay, and as long as it's not hateful speech or racist, which I think even then you get some of that, people can post their political opinions, correct?
Yes?
And if Mr. Baumhower is a journalist, then he has certain freedoms. Would you agree? Freedom of the press, First Amendment freedoms, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you next indicate in your complaint that November of 2015, Jeremy Baumhower caused to be filed a frivolous complaint against you.
Correct.
Do you have any proof that he filed the complaint against you?
He indicated in a post that he was planning to file the complaint, but I do not know for sure. The board will not indicate who specifically filed it.
So you don't actually know?
Well, I don't know, other than the fact that he states that on October 18th, he stated in a post, "I plan on filing a complaint with the license board over her public diagnosis of myself." And then he indicates afterward that somewhat the compliment of the day was that he was able to remove me from counseling people.
Okay. And then you indicate there that he called your employer. Is that what you indicate in this complaint?
He called my ex-employer, yes.
Okay, and do you have any proof of that whatsoever?
I don't have it with me today, but I got a call from my former boss, Dr. Bob Esplin.
Okay. But you have no proof of that? And Dr. Esplin's not here, and he hasn't provided you any sort of documentation?
Correct.
Okay. And then you claim he threatened your sister's employment?
Correct.
Do you have any documentation of that or
I-
proof of any of that?
I do not have that with me, no.
Okay. And then he falsely accused you of publishing personal information about him on several websites.
Correct.
Okay. And do you have those websites or the false accusations?
I do not have those, I did not print that out, no.
Okay.
That's what I,
Some of that may be in my file.
okay. Yeah.
On February 15th, 2016, he contacted my neighbor via Facebook and threatened me.
Correct.
Okay, and that threat was what? And where is that threat? Is that the TikTok?
The tick-tick, not
Tick-tick.
tick-tock, it was tick-tick, like a
Tick.
bomb.
Okay. Did you believe a bomb was being planted at your house?
You
Is that
know,
what you
at
believe?
that point, I had no idea.
Okay.
It had
Yeah.
escalated to an ugly level, and I had no idea.
Okay. Now, you provide us a number of documents. Exhibit 1 is simply a car going by your house, correct?
Correct.
There's nothing linking my client to this car or anything else about that car that is meaningful other than there's a car near your house. Is that correct?
Well, it was taking pictures, yes, that's correct.
Okay. So you don't, so just a car taking pictures, you believe they're taking pictures?
I saw them taking pictures.
Okay. That's, okay. And then further in that, on the second page, you indicate essentially a threat to sue because he indicates that lawsuits could come. You would agree that if you have a cause of action for either libel or slander, you're entitled under American jurisprudence to bring a lawsuit. True?
I'm sorry, ask that question again?
If you have a cause of action, you believe that you could file a lawsuit for libel, slander, or any other number of claims under our system of justice, you're entitled and allowed to file lawsuits, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the fact that somebody could file a lawsuit against you, you find that to be scary and terrifying and
It's unnerving.
unnerving?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. In your second exhibit, you provide a number again of emails or text messages. Again, you accuse my client of sending you a number of messages to you, correct? But you don't actually have any message directly from him under an alias or anything else that is threatening. Is that correct? From him? I mean, a personal threat?
Well, the tick, 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 I took it as a personal threat
Okay, which was sent to your friend and not you, correct?
with my name on it.
With
It does have my name on it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because your own testimony today, you said you didn't know for sure. Those were your words today.
I didn't know
So-
for sure anything anonymous. I knew for sure that was him sending. it
Just
came-
that one tick, tick, tick message, correct?
Correct.
And that's the only message you have to any of your friends, family, or other people in the totality of all the documentation from Jeremy Baumhower mentioning your name or in any way arguably threatening you, correct?
I'm sorry, ask that question again?
This tick, tick, tick with your name on it is the only documentation you have in any of these with any sort of perceived threat against you. Is that accurate?
What do you mean by threat?
Well, you've claimed that's threatening. So
Correct.
what other documentation do you have that you perceive as a threat, other than a
A
lawsuit?
physical threat?
Any sort of threat. I mean, you've claimed emotional and mental damage here.
Since the emergency order was approved on April 1st, he has posted about me every single day. He did not honor the part of the Civil Protection Order.
Can you show me any one of those that is about you specifically?
Are these all from, yeah, they're all right here.
Okay. And can you show me the one where your name is on it? Or it's directed to Ms. Kern or Terry?
This isn't, doesn't have my name on it, but on Sunday, was before we were supposed to come and meet after it had been delayed. I don't have an exact date. I'll meet you face to face anytime. Oh wait, I can't. Someone ran to court to try to stop me.
What's the date of that?
I don't have the exact, it was in April. It was after April 1st.
Okay, but you didn't submit that as evidence, and you're not submitting that now, is that correct?
Well, I'm answering your question based on this.
Okay, you just submitted it.
Well, I didn't submit it, and it hasn't been validated. It's just hearsay. She's reading from a stack of papers.
Excuse me, it's the document that your client drafted, it's not hearsay.
I don't think it's been admitted yet, but anyway, the point being that
he posts about Midwest Vascular, that was my sister's former employer. Proudfoot Associates is my sister's former employer. This was on April 14th.
okay, again, that's not you, though, correct?
That is correct.
You've submitted.
Okay.
All right, just so to sum up briefly.
On April 7th, he made a very long post about me. He doesn't mention my name, but there is no question he was talking about me. He was referring directly about me.
Okay.
And in that, he says, every firefighter will share your words, every parent of a special needs child will feel your ugliness and my pain, every troll will witness the price paid for playing keyboard assassin, every lawyer will be asking to help, you will feel eyes on you and hear whispers as you walk by, you will not go alone, you will have your posse of court abusers, liars, low-rated talk show has-beens, meaning Fred Lefevre, and third grade spelling champs, meaning Cindy Perry, to soften your blow.
So he doesn't mention those people by name, but you fill in the blanks, correct?
There is no doubt in my mind that he's talking about me.
Okay. And during this period of time, you continue to post on Facebook as well?
Not about him.
Okay. So we've gone through document 1, the car, we've gone through number 2. Number 3 is a Facebook page about a pod in your driveway, correct?
Correct.
All right. You don't have any proof that this is from my client, correct?
He's a friend of the pod page, but no.
Okay.
Other than he is part of the pod page as well as his witnesses here, his observers here.
Okay. Number 4, again, is a document you've submitted, which is a public conversation between other people. Admittedly, at some point, you appear to be noted here, correct? But it's just a, this is your document 4, it's got the picture of the Simpson sisters there.
That are depicting my sister and myself.
Okay, and this is, again, just simply a public post in a discussion between private citizens, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And there isn't anything in this document that is a personal threat to you in terms
Other
of
than
your
my
safety?
phone number being pretty much published.
Pretty much, but not entirely, correct?
Well, not entirely, but no.
Okay. And in number 5, you indicate that Mr. Baumhower is looking for something to do with state licensing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But you yourself don't know exactly why, you just presume, correct? That he's looking for that for you, correct? That's what you presume?
I'm sorry, I don't
You
understand
just
your
presume
question.
that his inquiry has something to do with you, correct?
I presume that his inquiry, his statement that he planned to file a complaint, and after the hearing was over, that he stated that he was able to remove me from the mental health field. Yes, I presume that was about me.
Okay. And in number 7, You are sent a letter from, which you've admitted into evidence here, from the Counselor, Social Worker, and Marriages and Family Therapist Board, correct? All right, and you claim that discipline was not warranted, which it says it wasn't, correct?
Correct.
But what does it say after that?
It says that the board is concerned, extremely concerned about my social media posts about the meeting I had with Mr. Haggerty after I had to defend myself from him and his followers who went crazy on social media after I did not lose my license.
Because I see it here, it says, but wanted to caution you about proper professional responsibilities and maintaining a high standard of professional ethics, especially in the area of appropriate use of your professional credentials.
Correct.
So that doesn't sound like anything to do with social media or blogging.
Well, actually it did, because I had put on my blog, my personal blog, that I was a licensed professional counselor, and they advised me to not use my credentials when I am posting my own personal opinion about political issues, such as the school board race and Mr. Hickey.
And to date, no criminal charges of any kind have been brought against my client, correct?
I filed a police report against him, but no criminal charges from me have been filed.
And no one filed that, based on that police report, there was no action taken, is that correct?
Well, I came here to file a protection order.
Okay. And okay. All right. One moment, Your Honor, please. Your Honor, at this time I have no further questions.
Okay, any more redirect?
No.
Okay, any more witnesses you'd like to call? Okay. Mr. Groth, witnesses you'd like to call?
Your Honor, though, at this time, I would like to make a motion for a directed verdict in this civil matter. I would indicate that I don't think the testimony today, based on lack of substantiation, largely hearsay, and frankly, First Amendment rights, freedom of the press, all of that would add up to a lack or basis for granting a civil protection order. I would ask the court to consider that at this time and rule accordingly.
Can I take a brief recess to consider that motion? Does anybody have a copy of the exhibits for the court? Thank you. In the meantime, maybe the two of you can join your folks back in the conference room.
Okay.
We'll take a little recess.
Go back in.